Welcome to lesson 078 of Online School of Entrepreneurship. I am Dr. Kirian Mfam. In this lecture, we will dwell on the meaning and nature of business plan. A business plan is a blueprint or roadmap for building a business. Just like a physical building that is implemented through architectural designs, businesses are also implemented through business plans, which contains roadmaps or blueprints upon which the various aspects and stages of the business will be implemented. Business plan is a written document that describes the business idea and all the relevant internal and external elements involved in launching a new venture. So what business plan does is to spell out the business idea as well as describing the elements that are critical to the development of that business idea, and these elements can be internal and external. It describes the nature and context of the business opportunities and the plans to exploit the opportunity. So business plan contains the nature of the business idea and how the opportunity will be developed and how the opportunity that surrounds that idea will be exploited. It is usually an integration of functional plans in finance, marketing, manufacturing, and human resources. So the business plan contains the functional elements of business, which involves financing the business, that how the business will be financed, how the business will be marketed, how manufacturing will be done, as well as the human resources that are needed to implement the business venture. It serves as a roadmap for the entrepreneur. So when an entrepreneur wants to implement a business, he or she looks at the roadmap, which is the business plan, and from that roadmap, the person can now begin to implement the various stages of the business in terms of launching a new product or diversifying a product. The business plan is prepared by the entrepreneur in consultation with lawyers, accountants, business consultants, engineers, etc. This is because for every business idea, there are critical elements of the environment that are needed to be considered when developing the business. That is why it is important that lawyers are engaged, for example, to look at the legal dimension of the business we want to launch, as well as the accountants, so that you know the kind of financial records that will be necessary to give a true picture of the business, and so on. Investors, venture capitalists, bankers, and suppliers read the business plan. This is because they are critical stakeholders in the kind of business you are going to launch. For example, investors will be interested on the viability of the business. If the business can bring return on the investment, they have desire to invest in such a business. Venture capitalists are those that provide funding for businesses. They will also be concerned and interested to know if the investment they will make in such a business will yield the desired return on investment. This is also applicable to bankers and suppliers. Of course, suppliers are those that will give you the goods and the raw materials, as the case may be. That is why investors, venture capitalists, bankers, and suppliers are always concerned on how the business plan looks like, because it gives them, it helps them to know the viability or otherwise of the proposed business. Each group reads it for a different purpose. The focus and content of the business plan will differ from one venture to another depending on its nature and size. So, of significant note is the nature of the business and the size of the business. That is why you cannot have one size fit business plan for all businesses, because every business is unique in terms of its size and in terms of its nature. Three main perspectives must be considered in every business plan. One, the perspective of the entrepreneur, who must articulate what the venture is all about. So the first the perspective is for the owner of the business to articulate the business idea in terms of what it is all about, giving a rough overview of what the business will take in terms of funding, in terms of expectations. Two, marketing perspective. That is how the new product or the new business will be launched into the market so that marketability will be sustained. And three, investors' perspective. That is to say, the perspective of those that will be willing to come and put in their resources in order to invest and have their returns on investments. Importance of business plan. Business plan is the blueprint that provides a clear view of what the entrepreneur wants to do and key variables influencing success. So we had earlier explained that just like a building plan, that the business plan helps the entrepreneur to prepare and focus on how a new business can be launched or how diversification can be achieved with ease so that success can be obtained. It must describe where you are, where you want to go, and how you propose to get there. Those are some of the things that we achieve through a business plan. A business plan will help you to know where you are, to know where you are headed, and to know how to achieve your destination. The business plan is a valuable document for the entrepreneur, potential investors, and even for the employees. So the entrepreneur, potential investors, and the workers or the potential workers that will be engaged in the business entity are critical factors in looking at the business plan, because at some point they will all have one or two interests on how the business plan is developed and implemented, because it will affect on their well-being. The business plan is important to these people due to the following reasons. One, it helps determine the viability of the venture in a target market. So the first thing the business plan does is to help to determine the viability of the business venture in the target market. That is to say, will a segmented market be there to patronize the product or service? Two, it guides the entrepreneur in starting the enterprise. So the business plan will help the entrepreneur to take step-by-step approach in implementing the business or starting the business. Three, the thinking involved in the preparation of the business plan makes the entrepreneur aware of the issues that could impede the venture success. So with the business plan in place, the entrepreneur can foresee some challenges that may occur in the course of implementing the business. And with that foreknowledge, the entrepreneur will begin to prepare on how to mitigate those perceived future challenges. Four, it serves as a guide to investors and thereby helps in obtaining finance. So the business plan helps the entrepreneur to obtain finance from external sources. Five, writing the business plan forces the founders to think about all aspects of the venture. Now, with the development of the business plan, the owners of the business or the entrepreneur has an opportunity to have an overview of the entire concept, the entire business concept, beginning from the formation stage to the triggering stage to the implementation stage stage and to the stage of evaluation. 6. A clear business plan articulates the vision and goals of the founders. So with your business plan, you will know where you are headed in terms of your vision, as well as the goals you want to achieve for your business establishment. 7. A business plan communicates all stakeholders. That is to say, it appeals to all the stakeholders. It provides needed information to those that are interested in your business venture. They can judge the venture's future on the basis of the business plan. 8. The business plan helps identify important variables that will determine the success or failure of the firm. We had earlier noted that if you have a good business plan, it gives you success and failure indicators from the very beginning, so that you know the areas that you need to intervene to ensure that success for a business is sustained. And 9, the business plan is used as a selling document to outsiders. That is to say, it is the business plan that projects the image of the business organization. Please support us by 1, following us on our Facebook page, Online School of Entrepreneurship. 2, subscribing to our YouTube channel, Entrepreneurship Teacher. And 3, liking, commenting, and sharing our posts. Thank you, and see you in our next lecture.